Hey everyone, Travis here at the very end of day 3 of the quarterfinals here with Phreak of the Analyst Desk. Phreak, we just saw some crazy Chinese action back at the games, the venue. What did you think of today's games?
Today's games were very entertaining. I especially had a bro bonding moment with Doublelift because we're AD carry players and we're fanboys of good AD carry players. And my god, Uzi is a god. So it's interesting because we found ourselves like kind of cheering him on at a certain point. Like it wasn't even about necessarily which team won, but it was like I just want to keep seeing Uzi fight people. So we did a lot of that.
Now, speaking of 80 carries, Name was said to have been possibly the best 80 carry in the world going into Worlds by certain analysts, and now, like, it seems as though the hype he hasn't lived up to the hype, and Uzi sitting here just making him look silly. What are your thoughts on the whole Name situation? Was he just overhyped from the start, or is it just like he's not playing up to what he does in LPL?
I think he definitely underperformed more than being overhyped. He's definitely a very strong player, but like you don't become like the most popular player in China and win 3 LPL titles by getting randomly thresh hooked like in front of a turret. Like that's not normal for him. And it was something that we definitely speculated on way back in the very first preview show was hey, Name he's never won on a team that qualified for an international event. He was on good Chinese teams, but never when they qualified for things. So it was like, well, first international event, maybe he chokes. It's a definitely possibility, and it happened to a certain extent here. He played worse than he normally does, and that's too bad. But if you don't show up on land, you don't show up.
I kind of touched on this with Quickshot 2 days ago, but you guys were in LA keeping these very odd hours. Now you are here at the event in Busan, the huge audience behind you. What's it been like transitioning from like really odd hour studio to like here at the event?
The transition's actually been pretty easy. So in terms of getting onto Taiwan or Singapore time from LA, it was basically okay. Uh, Give it 3 tries to like stay up till noon, then go to bed. It usually takes me 3 tries, and I can make that happen. I'd actually coordinate recording the Scion Champion Spotlight around that because, of course, that's during regular riot hours, which are like as early as like 9 in the morning, as late as like 8 at night. But that's like, well, I'm asleep for 3 quarters of that, or then going to the desk right afterwards. Found out how to do that. That was actually the only real difficulty was getting that recorded. Otherwise, it's just like oh no, I'll have to play video games for 12 more hours. We're going to bed. Woe is me for staying up. So that was fine. And then the travel afterwards, our flight was like at noon or something, which is like roughly bedtime. So I ate like breakfast or whatever on the plane and then slept, and it was like really chill. So that was actually pretty convenient, honestly. It was a pretty seamless experience.
Has the tempo, the beat, or even like the atmosphere of the analyst desk changed now that you can hear like the crowd literally behind you cheering and getting excited about the games?
I definitely found myself getting a lot more excited. I heard a lot of comments, or I guess read a lot of comments online about like, why is Phreak talking 3 times faster than normal? And some people speculated that we're like, oh, they don't have any time. They've got like rush to their points, and that's a little bit true because the games have to move. But at the same time, it's just you just feel the energy. I love casting in front of audiences, and unfortunately, Analyst Desk is oftentimes not in the same location. Thankfully, for quarters, not where it is, and it's just really awesome getting to hear the people around and getting just hearing them get excited for all the plays and whatnot. Even if you're between the games for the analysis points, you can still sort of feel the crowd energy. So I definitely love that.
We have OMG and Najin happening tomorrow. Any predictions for that match or ideas on maybe not even like what the score will be, but what the feel of that will it be similar to today?
I think it can be very similar in terms of being very bloody and being very action packed. As far as predictions go, if Dada was playing, I would say Shield and maybe as close as 3-2, but almost definitely Shield. But they're playing with Cloud instead. And Cloud has well, let me put it this way. OMG is something like 16-5 in LPL with Cloud and like 1-5 with supports that aren't Cloud. So there's a big skill disparity here, and OMG gets a lot better, and I think they're likely to win the series. My ballpark guesstimate's actually probably like 3-1 or 3-2, but I think OMG actually wins this one here. And it's now all their lanes are amazing. And the only hope I feel like Shield has is that Goong has had a freaking great tournament so far. But otherwise, I feel like it's a really uphill battle for Shield.
Very interesting. Now you move off to Seoul on what day?
Tuesday, it should be the day after the last quarter.
And then you have a little bit of recovery time where you, whatever, because I know how intense it can be for me to cover, but you guys have an even earlier schedule and you guys go pretty late as well. And you have to keep that energy going throughout the entire time. Do you just like sort of hibernate in between, or are you going to go out and sort of try to relax and get some food to get ready for the next stage?
So for me, I actually almost never party at all at events. If it'll be like if I do it all, it'll be like the last day after the last games. But not even like in the middle or between stuff. I'm usually very like strict sleeping schedule. Try to eat 3 meals, but otherwise it's just like relax my own time, like play games on Korea Live or just like study up for the next matches or whatever. So in terms of like hibernating, relaxing, whatever, the schedule's not too bad. I can get up at a normal time every day, and we usually get home at a decent time. Like right now, it's 9 p.m. and that was after a 5-game best of 5 and waiting for you guys to come back here for the interview. So like that's pretty chill, right? Like, so in general, I don't feel like I'm running too fast. In group stages, it felt more that way because you're casting for a lot of games, and then it's the drive back and forth, and it's again, and you have a lot more teams to cover. Right. Quarters actually felt pretty chill. Whereas like, oh, 2 teams a night, like that's not a big deal, and you've already done a lot of the prep work already to get ready for the tournament. Yeah. So at this point, it's just like, oh, hey, just learn the lessons from the last series, and then you kind of keep going, and that's been actually pretty. I don't want to say easy, but not as strenuous, I suppose.
Very good. Well, hey, anything that you want to say to any of the fans of the Analyst Desk and your work on it, watching all over the world?
I mean, I can kind of give the standard boilerplate everyone says. You fans are amazing. You always are. I suppose like it's weird because everyone says it. It feels really bland to hear it, like for all you guys watching the video. But like truthfully, as best I can convey it, like you guys out there watching this stuff is literally what this is for. It is for all of you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Even if you don't comment and you're just watching, that's great. If you are talking on Twitter or Reddit or the forums or chat or whatever, so much the better. Y'all are wonderful. I love you guys, every single one of you. And I love being a part of all this.
Thank you so much for the interview. Looking forward to seeing you on the Analyst Desk again tomorrow. For anyone else, you can check out the rest of our coverage of all things Worlds at ongamers.com.